Welcome back again to coverage of Southeastern Conference Football Media Days. I'm Chris Stewart, joined by Jason Caldwell of Inside the Auburn Tigers, part of the Scout Network. An exciting time, Jason, I know, for everybody, but especially Auburn fans right now. They feel like they've got the right trigger man to run that Gus Malzahn offense.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of all starts with the quarterback, and you see a guy like him. He's a guy that has the ability to make all the plays. So the thing you have to wonder now is, can he do it in the system and do it in the season? And that'll be the big test for him. I think the biggest part for him was getting to play junior college football, getting some starts under his belt. So he's had that experience. Now comes time to do it at Auburn in the SEC, which we know isn't easy.
Chris Todd had great credentials coming out of junior college, but is this the most established combination of credentials, talent, reputation you've had at quarterback in quite a while?
It's been a while, and honestly, I don't remember a guy like him in Auburn history in terms of his physical stature. I mean, Jason Caldwell is a guy that had all the tools. You can't beat the 6'16" kid. You can throw, you can run, you can do all those things. It's really interesting to see how Gus Malzahn incorporates him into the offense. He's a guy that's his fifth year as an offensive coordinator, his fifth different starting quarterback. So he's had a chance to do that before, but I don't think anybody with this kind of visibility.
We know they'll put points on the board. Malzahn's teams always do. What about the defensive side?
The biggest thing there, I think, is depth. Adding some depth. Last year at the end of the year, you're kind of struggling to find linebackers and defensive backs. You'll be playing a lot of young guys this year, the guys that are talented, but there are bodies. So I think that's the biggest thing right there. The second year of the defense, learn more about Coach Root. Coach Root learns more about the players as well. So I think they should be better defensively. We'll see how much.
12 months ago at this time, a lot of question marks about the head man, and the questions weren't just from the media, they were from the Auburn fan base. How much has Gene Chizik won them over in terms of believing in him and what he can get done ultimately in Auburn in that time?
I think the biggest belief came, those guys who went out and won some games, had chances to win 7 more. I mean, it's an 8-win team. They could have very easily won 10 games. That's the big part. And then the second part was answering that recruiting class. These guys went out, hit the road, had a top 5 recruiting class, showing fans that they're going to get players. And as we know, you get players and you win football games. It just depends on kind of the little X's and O's and having a break or two as to how many you've done. But players equal wins. They've been able to do that so far, and I think that has the fan base excited about the future.
Quick thoughts on the SEC as a whole. Who's going to meet Atlanta?
You can't really go wrong when you say Alabama, Florida. That's the way it is. Those two teams still have the most there. Alabama, when you start looking at it, going to lose all these guys defensively, but they're going to be good defensively. I mean, the recruiting classes they've had, the guys they have to fill in the gaps, that's going to be a good defensive team. But it's hard to talk about Alabama and think about the explosive offense, but that's going to be the case. I think Greg McElroy, one of the more underrated players that I remember in a long time. When you go back to Jay Barker type player, a guy that people say they won despite him. I don't think that's the case at all. Greg McElroy had a lot to do with that. I think he's a guy that is the key again for the Alabama team. Florida, John Brantley was a very talented guy. I had a chance to see a lot of in high school, and kind of playing pop up. He's going to have his chance to be the man this year, but it's hard to go wrong with those two teams.
Always good to see you. Thanks for the time. Jason Caldwell, Inside the Auburn Tigers. You can find his work on the Scout.com network.